All right. So the home plate for tonight is only 5 problems. So make sure you copy those and you solve them. They're just multi-step equations. I just included one, which will be today's lesson on proportions. And hopefully right now we can clarify what proportions are, and we'll get through those pretty quick. So everybody's done with this, yes? All right. So our objective for today, I can solve multi-step one-variable equations involving proportions. Read together, 1, 2, 3. I can solve multi-step one-variable equations involving proportions. So we know what one-variable equations are by now, yes? So you don't have to sketch a Farrier model for that, because we know that it's a two expressions equal to each other, yes? Yeah. All right. Yeah, one unknown variable. Also, the steps, we're still following what? Simplify, isolate, plot, and check. How about for your word problems? What are you using? Cubed. You keep using that acronym so you can start building good muscle memory with those word problems. Okay? So check this out. Proportions. Let me clarify proportions. Writing utensils down, look up. Some definitions that I need to cover with you. The first one is a ratio. A ratio, it says here, it's a comparison of two quantities. And I introduced this. I don't know if you guys remember. Look at this from here to here. This should look familiar. A is comparing to B. A is comparing to B, but B cannot equal to 0. You guys remember that definition that I gave you guys? Okay, so there's different ways we can write. You guys don't remember quotient's definition? Oh, yeah. Yes? Where n does not equal to 0, the denominator? Yes? All right. So a ratio can be written in 3 different ways. Look up to the screen. It could be written like this, A to B. You guys see this one? But it can also be written like this, A to B. Or like this, A to B. That's a ratio, comparing two quantities. All right? A proportion is a statement where two ratios are equal. So looking at this one, I'm going to take a fraction, which is a ratio, equal to another fraction, it's another ratio. This is what we call a proportion. So what are they? A fraction equal to another fraction. What is it called? A proportion. A fraction equal to another fraction, it's a, okay? And then from there we go to rate. A rate is a ratio of two quantities, but they have different units. Look at this one, miles per gallon. Who's heard also miles per hour? We have miles, which is distance, and hour, which is time. There's two different units. That's also a rate. However, look up. Can't we simplify 34 over 2? When you simplify it to lowest terms, that's what we call a unit rate. When it's simplified to lowest terms, where one of them becomes a 1, that's called a unit rate. Everybody got it? All right. So with that said, copy this one, please. Example 1. The ratio of the number of bones in a human's ear to the number of bones in the skull is 3 to 11. There are 22 bones in the skull. How many bones are in the ears? Bless you. Copy that. So, it says, the ratio of number of bones in the human ear to the number of bones in the skull is 3 to 11. Listen to how I say it, 3 to 11. So this is our ratio, isn't it? What's another way of writing this ratio? Tell your neighbor, please. So let's write it as 3 over 11. That is correct. So that's one ratio. But we're going to create a proportion. Tell your neighbor what a proportion is. Very good. A fraction equal to another fraction. So from here you do equal, and you draw a fraction bar, and let's fill up the other stuff with what they give us. Let's see. What information they give us? I'm going to start with red. It says, the ratio of number of bones in the human's ear. So they're talking about bones in the human's ear. They mentioned that first. Is that correct? What is the second thing that they mentioned? Number of bones in the skull. Therefore, this has to match to the ratio that they give us. So look at it. Which one of these numbers is for the human ear? 3. And which one is for the skull? 11. So now that we have that, this is for the ear, and this is for the skull. Now let's fill in the other ratio. It says, there are 22 bones in the skull. So where should I put the 22? On the bottom. And they say, how many bones are there in the ear? Since we don't know, I'm going to label that X. Now check this out. Look at it. If I was to do this like what we've been doing so far, line down the equal sign, here's the X. What is the 22 doing right now? Dividing. What is the inverse? Multiply times 22, multiply times 22. So therefore, here's a giant 1. We're left with X equals, this is 66 over 11. And what is 66 over 11? 6 equals X. Are we done? No. Let's answer the question. Let me underline that in red. How many bones are in the ears? There are 6 bones in the ears when there are 22 bones in the skull. 10 Q. Very simple. Now, yes. And that's where I'm going. So, now this is good, right? Now, I'm pretty sure last year your teacher showed you a different strategy. And here it goes again. I'm going to revisit that strategy. But I just wanted to show you the process so that you can see how this works if you were to solve it in a, just a manner that we've been doing. However, if I write it like this, 3 over 11 equals X over 22, there's something that we call cross product or cross multiplication. Therefore, when we have a fraction equal to another fraction, to save a step, check this out. What is 11 times X? 11X. What is 3 times 22? 66. Divide by 11, divide by 11. X equals what? 6. Copy this one, please. And this is called cross product or cross multiplication. Some of you don't know it like that. All right? Piece of cake? Okay, this next one, do by yourself. You don't have to copy the entire problem. I want you to set up your ratio and then set up your proportion and see how you do with this next one. Here we go. Example 1B. It says, the ratio of red marbles to green marbles is 6 to 5. So what colors are you going to use for this one? You're like blue and black. There are 18 red marbles. How many green marbles are there? Set up your proportion, please. Go. Jacob, give me your proportion, please. 6 over 5 equals 18 over X. Okay. Then we cross multiply. I always start with the X so that I write it here, 6X equals, and this is 90. All right. And then from there, divide by 6, divide by 6. X equals 15. Hands, have you got this? Yeah, question. Okay. I just said that we can do these in our noodle, can't we? And we can just like do something really quick. Do I want that? No. What do I want? I want you to practice the cross multiplication proportion. Yes? And you'll see why, because right now the next ones you're going to be like, oh, okay, I can't do that one anymore like that. I have to do what? Cross multiply. All right. However, did we write our sentence? No. Very good. Yes. How many green marbles are there? There are 15 green. Get it? That's why I did it in green. Bam. Let's go. So you wrote your sentence. There are 15 green marbles. 10 Q. All right. Copy this next one. Example 2A. Solve the proportion. 3 nines equals 5 over m. 20 seconds. We're getting to the next level. Check with the neighbor, see what they got. So I start with the variable. So this is 3m equals to 45. Divide by 3, divide by 3. M equals 15. Hands if you got that. Okay, let's kick it up a notch. Example 2b. Oh, not that one. 3a. Copy this one. 6 over y minus 3 equals 2 over 7. Let's do this one together. I'll help you out on this one. There you go. I'll give you a head start. Go. Check with the neighbor, see what they got. Hands if you got y equals 24. Okay, let me go over this one. Here we go. Cross multiply. I'm going to start with a variable. Look up. Now we have two terms, don't we? So 2 times y and 2 times negative 3 become 2y minus 6 equals. What is 6 times 7? 42 plus 6 plus 6. 2y equals 48. Divide by 2, divide by 2. Y equals 24. Do another one. Copy this one. G plus 3 over 5 equals 7/4. Copy that and go. 40 seconds. All right, what you get for this one? Jasmine. Hands if you got G equals 5 3/4. That is correct. Okay, now writing utensils down really quick. Look at this one. It says, Ralph Lau of Germany flipped a pancake 416 times in 120 seconds. Can we set up a ratio for that? Yes. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Hold on. So the ratio would be 416 over 120. Yes? To set the world record, find the unit rate and round your answer to the nearest 100. Okay? So 120 seconds. What would be a unit rate for that? Instead of 120, it's a what? A 1. So then we need to find how many times he flipped it in that time. You guys see the proportion now? Yes, cross multiply. This is 120x, copy this. And this is 416. Divide by 120, divide by 120. X equals 416 divided by 120. If it's in there 3 times, 360, no, 4 times, no, 3 times, sorry. 360, subtract, that's 56, yes. Point, add a decimal, if it's in there 4 times, yes. 480, subtract 80, I'll stop right there, this is 3.4. What does that mean, 3.4? In 1 second, he flipped it how many times? 3.4. Let's see, let's try it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. He flipped the pancake 3.4 times in 1 second. Imagine that? I know. Anyways, that's how you work some of these word problems to find a unit rate. Everybody understand? And the last thing. Yes? I'm sorry? Ralph Lau flipped a pancake 3.4 times in 1 second. Okay? We'll stop right there. Tomorrow we'll continue with the second part of this one. Your home play for today, once again, it was on the screen earlier, plus that one problem that I gave you, the extra one. Okay? Good one, guys. Enjoy your home play. There is no tutoring because we have faculty meeting. Enjoy your home play. See you guys tomorrow. Bye. That's the home play. That's the home play. All right, I'll upload the video later. Okay? Bye.